You're probably doing that Hollywood thing where everybody else is just there for you.
It's a very terrifying, scary way. Basically fantasizing about Justin Baldoni is the best way to look at this.
And I think Ryan Reynolds inserted himself here and said, I'm going to take this guy down. I think that that's kind of what has evolved down in this.
What happens when Joe Rogan, the podcast titan with millions of ears on him, tears into Ryan Reynolds over a rumor so wild it's shaking Hollywood to its core? Imagine this. Reynolds, the wisecracking king of Deadpool, supposedly loses the role that made him a legend, and Rogan's there to rub salt in the wound, humiliating him in front of the world. It's a story packed with betrayal, a shocking recast, and a feud that spiraled way out of control. Let's dive into this mess because it's juicier than anything Deadpool's ever sliced up.
Ryan Reynolds allegedly went psychotic. You should just know that for Justin Baldoni, he has been involved in this story, telling this story of Colleen Hoover's book, It Ends With Us, since 2019. Looking behind and peeling the layers of the onion, I'm like, okay, I just get quite obsessive. It is true. Personality type 1 through 9. Well, Ryan Reynolds on the Enneagram is a psycho. That's what he is. He's just a psycho. His number is psycho.
Ryan Reynolds wasn't just some actor in a red suit, he owned Deadpool. Back in 2016, he clawed his way through studio doubts to bring the foul-mouthed anti-hero to life, turning a long-shot idea into a billion-dollar juggernaut. His snappy humor, relentless hustle, and hands-on creative control made Deadpool his baby. By 2024's Deadpool and Wolverine, he was untouchable, a Hollywood golden boy who'd built an empire on that character. So when whispers hit in early 2025 that Marvel might have yanked it all away, fans couldn't wrap their heads around it. Losing Deadpool? That's not just a career hit, it's personal, and the guy supposedly stepping into his boots makes it even crazier.
And he just decided, okay, you know what? This entire production needs to be halted. I don't trust my wife, okay? Meaning Ryan had to go back to film for Wolverine and Deadpool. Wayfarer gets that shocking email of demands. And
Justin Baldoni, yep, the Jane the Virgin heartthrob and It Ends With Us director. Not exactly the guy you'd peg for R-rated chaos and katana swings, right? But here's the bombshell rumor lighting up the internet. Marvel's allegedly tapped Baldoni to replace Reynolds as Deadpool. It's like casting a rom-com lead as a bloodthirsty mercenary. Wild, unexpected, and honestly kind of hard to picture. Fans are losing it, torn between disbelief and outrage. How did Baldoni even get in the mix? The answer's tied to a nasty clash that's been brewing for months, and it's got Reynolds' wife, Blake Lively, right in the thick of it.
In the recent filing, we can now see that Ryan was panicked in general. Like, that's the only way I can say it. If he wants to go after you.
The whole thing kicked off on the set of It Ends With Us in 2024. Lively starred, Baldoni directed, and what started as a typical Hollywood gig turned into a legal war. By December, she sued him, claiming sexual harassment and a smear campaign to trash her name. Baldoni hit back in 2025 with a $400 million defamation suit, dragging Reynolds into the fray. Court filings spill the tea. Baldoni says Reynolds confronted him, while Lively accuses Baldoni of sabotage. Things got petty, real petty. Word is, Reynolds took it to the screen, slipping a dig at Baldoni into Deadpool and Wolverine with Nicepool, a do-gooder character fans now think was a sly shot. Funny for a minute? Sure, but it might have cost him everything, because Marvel doesn't play when its franchise is on the line.
You're probably doing that Hollywood thing where everybody else is just there for you.
Reynolds has always been the guy who could do no wrong. Charming, sharp, a money-making machine. But insiders say he might have crossed a line here. Rewriting It Ends With Us scenes to prop up Lively was one thing. Using Deadpool as a personal jab, that's a gamble Marvel didn't sign up for. Baldoni's lawyers are digging deep, subpoenaing Disney for every Deadpool memo they can get. If Reynolds turned their billion-dollar anti-hero into a feud prop, it's no shock the studio got fed up. Rumors hint at months of tension, creative spats, big asks, maybe a touch too much swagger. When the legal mess exploded, Marvel saw an out, and then Joe Rogan swooped in to make it a public bloodbath.
Marvel just wasn't ready. They just couldn't quite wrap their heads around how we would resurrect this iconic and legendary character after a masterpiece like Logan, the movie Logan. And I said, who cares about a masterpiece?
Early 2025, Rogan's podcast drops, and he's got Reynolds in his sights. This dude's a psycho, he blasts, shredding him for letting ego wreck his career. He cackles that Reynolds Deadpooled himself right out of Marvel, and millions tune in to hear it. The internet catches fire, fans argue, memes fly, and suddenly Reynolds isn't just fighting rumors, he's a global punchline. Rogan doesn't stop at a jab, he twists the knife, calling him arrogant, mocking how he thought he was too big to fall. For a guy who's thrived on being likable, this was a humiliation on steroids. And it's not just him, Blake Lively's caught in the fallout too.
And he said, what are we living in? Like, what is happening here? What's going on?
Yeah.
Lively's been front and center since this blew up. She hit the Another Simple Favor premiere in March 2025, brushing off a Justice for Justin protester like a pro. But behind closed doors, she's reportedly livid. Some say she's in crisis mode, rallying PR teams to save Reynolds' rep. Others whisper she's furious at him for escalating the Baldoni beef, or at Marvel for bailing on her husband. The tabloids are buzzing. Is their perfect couple vibe cracking? Whispers of tense fights and late-night strategy sessions paint a picture of a power duo under siege. Whether she's the victim or the spark, Lively's not dodging this storm, and it's got everyone asking, what's Marvel's endgame? Did they really cut Reynolds loose? As of March 13th, 2025, there's no official word, just eerie quiet from the studio. That silence says plenty. If Reynolds was staying, they'd kill this rumor dead. Instead, it's growing legs, and Baldoni's rising fast. His dad's even throwing shade on Instagram, poking at Blake's and Ryan's. Maybe Marvel's banking on a clean slate, or maybe they're just tired of the drama. Baldoni as Deadpool still feels like a stretch, until you remember Marvel's pulled off wildcards before. Downey Jr., Pratt, Rudd, all doubted, all winners. If they're serious, Baldoni could flip from drama guy to franchise gold. Reynolds, meanwhile, is left hanging, his Deadpool crown slipping away. Here's where it gets brutal. Joe Rogan didn't just humiliate Reynolds. He might have sealed his Hollywood fate. The guys said nothing. No pushback, no defense, just crickets. That's a scream in itself. Rogan's turned him into a laughingstock, Lively's scrambling, and Baldoni's poised to snatch the spotlight. Can Reynolds bounce back from this gut punch, or is this the end of his reign? Hollywood's holding its breath, waiting for his next play. So what's your take? Did Rogan bury him for good, or is there a comeback brewing? Drop your thoughts below, smash that like button if this blew your mind, and subscribe for more Hollywood chaos you won't see coming.